to tonight's proceedings, though, let's take a little bit of a look of the schedule here. This evening's headliner, former President Bill Clinton, has a long history of making convention speeches, some going better than others. When he was the keynote speaker in 1988, the audience burst into cheers during his overly long speech when he finally said, "In conclusion." The reviews have been considerably better since. But joining us now is Paul Glastris, editor-in-chief of Washington Monthly. He co-authored President Clinton's 2000 address to the DNC. Thank you so much for joining us, Paul. You worked on the 2000 speech. We want to listen to some of it.
To embrace new ideas, rooted in enduring values, opportunity for all, responsibility from all, and a community of all Americans. You gave me the chance to turn those ideas and values into action. Today, after 7.5 years of hard effort, we're in the midst of the longest economic expansion in history.
Now, one of Clinton's strengths is his ability to connect with people, the I feel you pain candidate. So, Paul, how do you convey empathy like that in a speech?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to have empathy. It's not something you fake. It's something as a person that you have and you tap into. And we saw, for 8 years, President Clinton do that. You saw Barack Obama and Michelle Obama do that last night. Doug Emhoff do it last night. A lot of the speakers. Of course, Joe Biden is kind of the king of empathy. It's you bring experiences from your life that you had yourself had, and you project that onto millions of other people, and you're constantly reconnecting with individuals on the campaign trail, in the work that you do. It's just part of being a politician, and good politicians have the feeling and can convey it.
And Paul, what are you expecting to hear from him tonight? Do you have a prediction on what kind of theme we'll hear?
You know, I was at an event celebrating his 78th birthday earlier this week, and he had a great line. He said, "I have a good reputation of supporting women running for president." So I hope he uses that line. I think you're going to hear from the president a little bit of what you heard from President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama yesterday, which is giving Democrats some advice to reach out and listen to and show empathy for voters who don't support Democrats. I think it's how they feel. I think the whole country feels the divisions, and even people who are going to support Donald Trump don't like the divisions. And I think that's not only the right thing to do, but it's the best chance the Democrats have of breaking out of this 50-50 trench warfare with the Republicans and maybe winning this outright. I think he's also going to do the best job he can of framing for voters the specifics of what this election is about. That really is Bill Clinton's superpower. He's able to explain policies better, complicated policies in ways that don't dumb down the ideas, but that average people can understand. I'm gonna be looking for that too.
Yeah, I heard him. I heard him get into that a little bit on a podcast and talking about the long. Did we lose Paul? There he is. Okay, the long-term conflict there in the Middle East. Paul, some Democrats have called for the Democratic Party to let former President Clinton loose. I read one article where they called it the Free Willy approach, and Newt Gingrich even weighed in that that's what he should have done when Al Gore was running. So what is the unique contribution that Clinton could bring to this campaign? We know he's 78 years old, but what are some of the unique hallmarks that only he can bring?
Well, I agree with that assessment to the extent that the president got the energy and the good health to be on the campaign trail. I know he's going to want to. I know people are going to be desperate for him to be. No one is better at being, as Barack Obama called him, the explainer in chief. Nobody's better at connecting with voters, especially those who aren't paying a ton of attention to politics, and describing things in ways that are clear and persuasive. And I hope that he's out on the campaign trail in a lot of places that maybe the candidates can't get to, and smaller markets, more rural markets, more small-town markets, where older voters still remember the Clinton years fondly. And I think he could do a tremendous amount of good for the ticket.
Yeah, and that's something, you know, if you think back to 90s politics, the Clintons were enemy number one, but that's softened over the years, I think. What do you think about his ability to connect with really staunchly Republican voters and rural voters who maybe wouldn't otherwise even consider a Kamala Harris ticket?
Well, consider this. When I was in the administration, he hit 73% approval rating, and he left the he left office with approval rating in the low 60s. Very few presidents these days get that. I think there is a deep well of affection for him among persuadable independents and Republicans of a certain age. Not so much maybe for younger voters who, have maybe a different view. And, he as a way of elevating
Okay, Paul,
issues.
I'm sorry to interrupt you right now, but we want to take the stage because happening right now, parents of American hostage Hirsch Goldman Poland are about to speak to the crowd. We just saw his mother put her head in her hands. Let's listen in.